We are introduced to two sisters running for their lives in the middle of a pouring rainstorm. The older one is named Asia, and the younger one is her baby sister Maria. They are soaked, terrified, and completely broke, but they have one goal in mind: escape their abusive father and, somehow, make it all the way to New York to start a brand new life. They duck into a small convenience store to grab a quick bite to eat, and little Maria, being a kid, immediately reaches for an expensive box of chocolates. Asia gently tells her to put it back because every single penny matters right now. Then Maria asks her older sister a question that breaks your heart. She asks what will happen if their father catches them again. What if he beats them and locks them in the basement like he used to? Asia kneels down and makes her a promise. She pulls up her sleeve and shows Maria a fresh tattoo of a bird on her skin. She tells her that no one is ever going to put them in a cage again. Maria, comforted by her sister's words, secretly slips the chocolates into her pocket while Asia isn't looking. But that moment of peace is shattered in an instant. Their father walks straight into the store. He doesn't yell. He doesn't scream. He speaks softly, almost lovingly, telling them he understands how hard things have been since their mother died. But the girls aren't falling for it. They try to slip out the back, but the store alarm suddenly blasts, exposing them. One of their father's friends blocks the exit. Asia panics. With shaking hands, she pulls out a gun and tells her father she will never let him touch Maria again. A shot is fired. Sirens start wailing in the distance. Asia looks at her little sister one last time, and then she runs. She leaves Maria behind. Now, buckle up, because that one decision is going to haunt her for the next 10 years. Fast forward a full decade. We see Asia, now a grown woman, walking up to a very fancy, very old apartment building in uptown Manhattan called the Virgil. She rings the doorbell, and a polite, well-dressed woman named Lily answers. Asia introduces herself, but here's the catch. She's using a fake name. She tells Lily she's a woman named Isabel who applied for the maid position over the phone. Lily lets her in and locks the door behind her with what feels like 100 locks. Asia notices and asks about it. Lily smiles and explains that the building was built way back in 1923 when the neighborhood was rough and full of criminals. Today, she says, it's one of the most exclusive addresses in all of Manhattan. Lily begins introducing Asia to a few of the residents. There's Sharon, a glamorous woman who owns a famous cosmetics company called Eternus. There's a man called Dr. Sheepman and his elegant wife. Everyone is polished, charming, and incredibly wealthy. Lily then takes Asia's phone, explaining that the people who live here demand one thing above everything else: total, complete, untouchable privacy. Already, you can feel something is off. This place is way too quiet, way too clean, and way too controlled. As Lily walks her further inside, Asia spots a small group of maids in another room. They look like they're celebrating something. A little boy suddenly walks up to Asia, looks her in the eye, and calls her Piggy. Yeah, Piggy. Lily quickly scolds the kid, telling him that isn't polite. Asia, confused, asks what the maids are celebrating. Lily says it's a small tradition. One of the maids is going to be rewarded tonight for her loyalty. She says it almost wistfully, like she's describing something sacred. Then Lily's husband Ray suddenly steps out of back room, and Lily snaps at him to stay away from new arrivals. There's something weird between them, something tense. Lily takes Asia to her room and tells her they'll do the full tour tomorrow. Asia unpacks her things and steps into the shower. As steam fills the bathroom, she wipes the mirror and sees something written on it for a brief second. Something written like a warning. She walks out and hears a rattling noise inside the air vent. She moves closer to inspect it, and that's when her blood runs cold. Their eyes staring back at her from inside the vent. A creepy giggle echoes down the hallway. The lights start shutting off one by one. Asia locks her door, jams a chair against it, and tries to convince herself she's just being paranoid. But she isn't. In the middle of the night, a masked man slowly crawls out of that very same vent. He creeps over to her bed and starts licking her foot. Yes, you heard that right. Licking her foot. Asia jolts awake, but before she can scream, he slams a chloroform rag against her face. She fights, kicks, and somehow knocks him out cold. But the door bursts open and two more masked figures storm in. One of them is Sharon, the cosmetic queen. Another one is a guy named Kevin. They came to capture her. Asia bites into a lamp wire and electrocutes Sharon. Then in this absolutely insane fight scene, she takes them down one by one with shocking precision. This timid little maid is not who she pretended to be. Sharon, somehow alive again, grabs a gun and shoots Asia. But Asia survives and keeps fighting. In the chaos, the masked guy throws a knife meant for Asia, and it ends up hitting Sharon instead. He runs. Asia chases him through the building, breathless and bleeding. And right here, the movie peels back its first big secret that we flash back to 10 years earlier. After Asia ran from the convenience store, she got arrested. Her father survived the gunshot, and the courts handed Maria right back to him. Asia spent years behind bars, eaten alive by guilt. The moment she got out, she hired a private investigator and tracked Maria's last known location to a motel in New Jersey. Then it led him to one specific address, the Virgil. The investigator warned her that maids who work at this building often go missing, especially the ones who have nobody looking for them. He told her the police don't dig too deep when rich people are involved. So Asia took the maid job using a fake name. She didn't come here to clean toilets. She came to rescue her sister. Back in the present, Asia confronts Lily face to face. She drops the fake name. She tells Lily her real name, Asia Reeves, and demands her sister back. She tells Lily she doesn't know what kind of sick operation is running inside this building, but if Maria is still alive, she needs to be handed over right now. Lily sighs softly and tells her she understands her love for her sister, but unfortunately, she has her own family to protect, and it isn't a normal one. Then, in the most horrifying way possible, every single person Asia just killed walks back out of that room. Alive, bloody, smiling. Yeah, they cannot die. A maid suddenly grabs Asia, and her son, the same little boy who called her Piggy earlier, stabs her in the back with a screwdriver. Asia escapes into a side room, rips the screwdriver out of her own back, and starts looking for any way out. She discovers a loose floor panel and crawls into the hidden compartment beneath it. While crawling through the hidden walls, she overhears Lily yelling at the immortals. Lily can't believe 5 of them couldn't handle a single woman. Sharon and Kevin almost catch Asia again, but she slips away just in time. Then suddenly someone grabs her from behind. It's Ray, Lily's husband. He drags her into a quiet space and tells her the truth she didn't even know to ask. This building is a temple to Satan. The family behind it goes back hundreds of years. The original founders made a deal with something on the other side. As long as their names stay written on what they call the immortality list, they can never die. In exchange, they have to keep offering up human sacrifices. Most of the people who live here are rich, powerful, and untouchable. They lure in vulnerable people like Asia, sacrifice them, and continue living forever. Once in a while, instead of killing someone, they pick someone special and offer them a spot on the list. Like Lily, who was once a poor nobody before being given immortality. But if any of them fails or breaks the rules, their name gets erased and they become mortal again. Then Ray drops the bomb that almost knocks Asia over. She is tonight's offering. She asks how she could possibly kill them if they can't die. Ray tells her that no matter what she does, even if she chops them up and burns the pieces, every single piece will keep living on its own. As long as their names are on that list, death cannot touch them. Asia hears moaning beneath them and looks down. Ray casually tells her immortality gets boring after a few hundred years, so each floor of the Virgil caters to a different vice. Lust, greed, whatever you can imagine. The building is essentially a luxurious playground of horror. Asia asks Ray why he's helping her, and he simply says he has his reasons. They drop down into a lower room. Asia points her gun, ready to fire, when a maid turns around. It's Maria, the little sister she abandoned 10 years ago. Standing right there, alive, but different. Asia is overwhelmed with emotion. She tells Maria she came to save her. She tells her this building is run by a satanic cult that murders innocent people. But Maria's face is cold. She already knows. She tells Asia she used to work at a motel where her boss harassed her every single day. One day she walked away. Then she saw an advertisement for a maid position at the Virgil. The job that seemed too good to be true. And Lily, ever the cult mother, took her in. Then Maria looks Asia dead in the eye and tells her the worst sentence a sister can hear. She doesn't need her anymore. She says she needed her when they were kids. She needed her the night Asia abandoned her in that convenience store. She needed her every single night their father came down to that basement. But not anymore. She tells Asia to run and not get caught again. Asia is gutted, but she pulls herself together and asks Ray for a way out. He tells her every door and window in the Virgil is reinforced. Bulletproof, shatterproof, fully locked down. But there's one exit, a fire escape ladder on the roof. To reach it, they have to get to the 9th floor. Up above, Sharon's headless body is discovered. The cult realizes Maria is helping her sister. Lily orders a full lockdown. Asia and Maria find each other again, and this time Maria fights alongside her. They escape into the service elevator. Ray sacrifices himself to buy them time. While running, they hide briefly inside the elevator shaft, and we get this incredibly tender moment. Asia, bleeding and breaking, finally apologizes for abandoning her sister all those years ago. Maria gently bandages her hand and asks where she learned to fight. Prison, Asia tells her. Maria reveals that their abusive father died from cancer 2 years ago. The two sisters, separated for a decade, finally feel like sisters again. Just for a moment. A small, quiet, beautiful moment in the middle of hell. But it doesn't last. The cult corners them on the 9th floor. Lily tells Asia it's over. Asia threatens to jump off the building, knowing they need her alive for the sacrifice. And that's when Lily smiles cruelly and reveals the truth Asia never saw coming. She asks if Asia knows how Maria went from being a sacrifice to being one of them. Lily tells her that for someone to join the family, they have to seal the deal in blood. They have to murder a sacrifice themselves. One life given, one life gained. That's the price of immortality. If they refuse, the demon takes them instead. Maria had been planning to sacrifice another woman from her old job, named Isabel. She thought Isabel was coming to the building that day. But guess who showed up using the name Isabel? Asia. Maria didn't know it was her own sister walking through that door. Asia is devastated. The cult drags her into the ritual chamber. And the thing they worship? It's not a demon in a robe. It's not some grand devil with horns. It's a rotting, severed pig's head sitting on a stick. Lily holds Asia's blood up to it, and the pig's head opens its eyes. It speaks in a deep, horrifying voice and welcomes the offering. Kevin tells the pig god that Ray and Maria have both betrayed them. The pig god orders Lily to execute Ray. Then he turns on Maria and orders her to kill her own sister to seal her place in the family. With shaking hands, Maria writes her name on the list. She's terrified. She's broken. She apologizes to Asia and tells her she wishes they had more time. Then she slashes her own throat. She sacrificed herself instead of Asia. She gave her sister a second chance. Asia, sobbing on the floor, suddenly notices something. She grabs a machete and slices off a piece of skin from the pig's head. Lily realizes too late what just happened. Maria's death didn't make Maria immortal. It made Asia immortal. Her name is now permanently on the list. The cult panics. They try to burn her name off the list. But Asia is now unkillable. She fights through every single one of them like she's been training her whole life for this exact moment. The pig's head suddenly latches onto Lily's face like a parasite. Lily, now possessed and furious, attacks Asia. They fight in this gruesome, brutal showdown. Asia eventually rips the pig head off Lily and looks at it dead in the eyes. She demands her sister back. The pig god reminds her about the rule. One death for one life. But Asia smiles and says they can do better than that. She pours bleach all over the pig's head and lights it on fire. Every name written on it begins to burn away. Every immortal in the building is now permanently mortal. She kicks the burning pig's head down the elevator shaft. The temple is destroyed. The cult is finished. She carries Maria's lifeless body outside, where her private investigator is waiting in the cold morning air. He sees her face and apologizes for her loss. He doesn't realize what he's about to witness. Asia pulls out that small piece of skin she carved from the pig's head earlier. Moments later, Maria gasps loudly and comes back to life. Because while everyone was distracted, Asia secretly switched the names on the list. She put Maria's name where hers should have been. Maria is the immortal one now. Maria gets to live forever. And Asia? She finally redeemed herself for the night she abandoned her sister 10 years ago. The private investigator looks at them both, completely lost, and tells them he doesn't even want to know.